And we are back with more information about your health on this Health and Wellness Thursday. And right now we're going to think about a topic that you might really not want to consider first thing in the morning, and that's heartburn. But a recent survey shows that over 70% of people give up foods that they love because of heartburn. So it is an issue that many people struggle with. And I recently spoke with an internal medicine doctor who's an expert in this. Let's find out more.
A new survey reveals that a whopping 70% of Americans say they're forced to give up what they love due to heartburn. Coupling that with the stress and anxiety surrounding a gradual return to normalcy amid the pandemic and the upcoming holiday season, it's clear that now more than ever, our day-to-day is full of heartburn triggers that may cause painful symptoms, taking the joy right out of the season. While some heartburn triggers like spicy foods are well known, doctors say others may surprise us. But the good news is that feeling comfortable and avoiding heartburn altogether is possible, especially with preventative actions. Here to tell us more is internal medicine expert Dr. Clenton Coleman. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
So tell us more about this new survey and why so many Americans might be feeling heartburn.
Let me preface this by saying that these past 2 years have been uniquely stressful. We're all suffering from stress, whether it be lack of social interaction. Thanksgiving's coming up and we're all worried about that. Returning to work or not having work, and just the financial insecurities related to that. And as you may know, stress can be bad for your health. It can lead to decreased productivity, decreased mood, bad eating habits, whether you're overeating or eating comfort foods, which more than likely are processed, fried, fatty foods. This survey by Nexium 24 Hours showed that 64% of respondents feel so stressed about returning to normalcy that it was heartburn inducing. So imagine that all we've been through, going back to normal, is actually stress inducing. So this is a big problem.
And Dr. Coleman, what exactly is heartburn?
Heartburn actually has nothing to do with the heart. That's just a term that we use. The best way for me to explain heartburn is to describe the journey of food as it goes into the stomach, where digestion takes place using strong stomach acids. So as you eat, say you ate breakfast this morning, you chew, you swallow, it goes into your esophagus, which is the food pipe. At the bottom of the esophagus, there's an area called the lower esophageal sphincter, which is a muscle that acts like a gate that allows food to go down to be digested, but prevents strong stomach acids from refluxing back up. When those strong stomach acids reflux back up, you get that sensation, that uncomfortable burning sensation in the throat and the chest, and that's what we characterize as heartburn. You also may have a bitter taste in the back of the throat. Sometimes you have nausea. Some of the common food triggers or triggers in general for heartburn are particular foods, like foods that are high in acid, citrus foods, tomatoes, caffeine, carbonated beverages, alcohol, the comfort foods, overeating or bad eating habits or eating late can also trigger heartburn. Stress is a definite trigger for heartburn, as well as smoking, which causes that muscle at the bottom of the esophagus to dilate. The good thing is, despite all those triggers, there's ways that we can treat our heartburn.
They say knowing is half the battle. So how can we be prepared in advance to help lessen the symptoms of heartburn?
I encourage all my patients to, one, exercise, lose weight, also avoid those trigger foods. So knowing which foods cause those symptoms are extremely important. If you don't know which foods cause heartburn, it's a good idea to keep a food diary so you can know the food that you had last night when you went out to eat was actually a trigger for your heartburn. Reducing stress is extremely important. We're all stressed now, so things like meditation, yoga, mindfulness, and even exercise is helpful in reducing stress. Despite all of those things that we do, we still may have heartburn, so something like Nexium 24 Hour, which is a strong medication that blocks those strong stomach acid from refluxing up and proactively blocks those symptoms so you can get back to your normal sense of life.
What are some common heartburn myths that we need to know about?
I think one of the common myths I hear is that it's only spicy foods. There's tons of other foods and classes of foods that cause heartburn. Carbonated beverages are one. So, for example, taking ginger ale to relieve your heartburn is probably not a good idea because those bubbles may cause that acid to come back up and cause problems. There's other types of foods that we discussed: alcohol, smoking. Interesting, wearing tight clothes can trigger heartburn because you're actually compressing your stomach and causing the acid to reflux back up. There's a lot of different things that we think about that can help heartburn. Things like milk, which, my mom, when I was young, told me to drink some milk to help relieve my heartburn. But in fact, milk can exacerbate it, make it worse, because milk has a high fat content that can make everything worse. So, knowing those myths and knowing what you can do to prevent heartburn is really important nowadays.
So it's important information. Where can we find out more?
You can get more information at nexium24hr.com. That's nexium24hour.com.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Coleman, for spending time with us today. Really appreciate this important information about heartburn and how to alleviate our symptoms. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. Happy holidays.